Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview. I'm excited to have on the other side of the screen with me Aleksandra Portillo, aka the Booty Barbie, right? And we'll
That,
and we'll maybe talk about the Booty Barbie thing a little later into the interview. So this time it doesn't look as good when I'm wearing like headphones and a mic, but I'm going to give credit to Ricky or Slick Rick, who told me, you know what, Sean, you got to use something to make yourself sound better. So I'm hoping I sound beautiful, and then Slick Rick can give me the approval if it sounds good. Normally, I don't wear a hoodie. I'm trying to look a little more presentable on these lives, but this is one of my meaningful hoodies, one of my favorite ones. And as we celebrate the, look back on the anniversary of this, I thought I would be wearing it today. Now, of course, like I said, I've got Aleksandra on the line with me, and I'm excited to talk with you a little bit here. Well, not a little bit. I'm very excited to talk with you, and it's just because you're somebody who's had a really meteoric rise with UFE. You seem to be just a great cheerleader. You're there helping people. You're really involved with the organization. And I'm going to get to something else. You've just always maintained a really positive attitude. So I really wanted to take the opportunity to just get a few insights from you, share them with others, and hopefully some of your thoughts and your outlooks are going to help other people that are either competing now and want to get to the highest level or thinking of competing. So start with some of our questions. And your first show was UFE Revolution last year. That show is coming up. I think it's like 4 weeks from now. Yeah.
almost exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, almost exactly 4 weeks. So we're pumped for that. And that's usually a really big, exciting show. And, you know, we expect everybody goes there. They have an amazing time. But it's a big show. You don't know how you're going to do. I want to ask you, that was your first ever experience with UFE. You'd never done a show before.
Right.
Did you have any expectations from that show?
Coming into it, I had zero expectations whatsoever. I had no idea how I was going to feel getting up on that stage myself, how the day was going to run. I really had no idea. I was a complete newbie entering UFE Revolution last year, and coming out of it, I came out with a passion for something new that I had never known that would be, such a huge part of my life at some point. So that experience at UFE Revolution really changed the course of essentially my life, because this has become such a big part of my day-to-day. And I absolutely love the experience with the UFE, specifically the way that the show was ran, the quality of the people that were there, the quality of the competitors that were on the stage with me. I really felt like I had a great first experience, and it was a fantastic springboard for myself.
Amazing. And you, if I'm not mistaken, you got 2 first place awards there, right?
I actually only competed in novice bikini at UFE Revolution.
That was it. Okay.
That was it. So I did win my category.
Okay. And then after that, it was the UFE Canada Pro qualifier in June, and you're on the poster for this year's show. And you're doing it again, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's trifecta.
Nice. And last year, if I'm not mistaken, you came in first place in bikini, and it was first or second in fitness model as well, right?
Yes, first place bikini and second place in fitness model.
Amazing. So far the trajectory is you do novice and you win, and that was a pretty, good field and a large field of competitors. Now you went to the open level.
Yes.
And it was a decent, a good number of competitors there, and some good quality competitors. Now, again, you've got a first and a second. And then you go to the Worlds, which is just a whole different ballgame, right? It's not just Canadians on there, and it's Canadians, Australians, Americans, UK athletes, people from around the world. and you won again in the elite level. Is that right?
I did, yes.
Yeah. And
First,
then
yeah.
yeah, and then you did you do fitness model as well, and you got a silver in that?
That is correct.
So far we have Aleksandra going through kicking butt, kicking butt, kicking butt, and then you get to the pro show, right? You decide to do
Yeah.
the pro show, and that was the first time ever. Maybe things kind of, didn't go so well, right? You looked fantastic, but it wasn't the first or second place. I believe you finished 6th or 7th in that one.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
So we've seen it before where some competitors, they really do have that meteoric rise,
Mm-hmm.
and it just seems so easy for them, right? They're doing a show, they're winning sometimes by a huge margin, and even at the elite show, it's incredible how they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to the pro show, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, okay, now we're in a whole different league. And some people get quite discouraged and upset when they don't do how they want, and they'll leave or they give up or whatever. You've got an amazing attitude after that. It looks like you're just plowing forward and you're ready to give it to whoever comes at you on the stage at the Canada Pro Qualifier and again at Worlds.
You bet.
With that long-winded kind of intro, try and describe for me like how it felt when you didn't earn a top 3 in the pro,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, kind of what went through your mind there, and then how did you feel?
So first off, I have to say, Sean, going into that pro show at Worlds was very much, to me, like going into my first show ever at Revolution. And so I had zero expectations. I knew that I was, dominating up until that point and feeling really great about where I was. But once you are in a lineup with all the other pros, it's a different ball game. And I knew that it was going to be that way. And so the way that I approach everything is by, educating myself, knowing who the competition is going to be, how it's going to look, and being realistic about my own expectations. I couldn't have expected to go to the elite show, win, and then go to the pro show and beat all the pros. That would have been absolutely unrealistic. And so for me, I was absolutely aiming for that top 5. And so I came just outside of that realm. And I still feel as though that was an incredible springboard for the next year. And all you can do in those situations is take all of the feedback that you've been given. And thankfully, the UFE gives us such incredible feedback. My judge's report was so thorough. And I was able to take that and work for the next 3 months over my off season to make my physique more competitive and to keep improving myself. And that's all we can ever do. We can only improve ourselves and not focus too much on who else is there, because that's not your job.
I love it. I really love that perspective, because a lot of people want to consider bodybuilding, fitness, whatever it is, they want to consider it a sport and they want to feel like they're an athlete. But a lot of people don't have the attitude of an athlete. So I really love your perspective, which is that of an athlete, right? You go in there, you know what you're up against, you've educated yourself, and then you've taken something from that experience, and you're going to try and come back even, better than ever, right? This year.
Exactly. And what I tell every single person that is starting out is that any competition you do is a point in time. And so what you can do after that show is keep improving, or the opposite. So it's really up to you.
Amazing. So that leads me into my next question. So you've got your UFE Pro status, which is amazing. What are your goals in the fitness industry at this point beyond where you're at now?
So not a huge shocker, but I would like to, in the next foreseeable amount of time, come away with a win at the pro level. That is my singular goal. Every single time I am entering the gym and working out, every single rep is going towards building that champion physique. So I'm giving it my all and doing everything that I can that is within my power to control that. And so I'm working hard to get that pro show win.
Amazing. And I guess you also have a goal of, right now you're a UFE dual pro because you've been dominant in bikini and fitness model. And now you've decided, you know what, I'm going to tighten up my physique, put a little bit more muscle on, and maybe become the trifecta pro.
That is right, Sean. And that has been a significant goal of mine, just because the look in the fitness category is a look that I would like to achieve at least once or twice in my life, I guess. And that level of conditioning and the amount of muscle mass, it is the look that I'm going for in the long run. And so I've been very cognizant about building mass in the off season, and I'm bringing a very, very different package to the stage next time I come out in London. So that'll be very exciting.
Amazing. So London's going to be a great show, and we've got some great competitors going to be there. So for those who don't know, that show's going to be June 22nd.
Yes.
We've put the website up there, ufeshows.com, for details. So either if you want to get up there with Aleksandra or you want to watch her compete on stage, go there. You can get your tickets. And then, of course, the big one is the World Championships. So based on your experience last year, is there anything you're doing differently this year? And I think something, I've seen already is you seem to be working with Team Star, which is one of the bigger teams with UFE. So Absolutely. What are you doing with them, and what are you doing different than you did last year?
So since joining Team Star, it has been a completely different world for me, just in terms of the level of rigor around the nutrition plans and the workouts, and just I've really honed everything in, and I can truly say that I'm bringing my best possible package and putting it all out there. So that has been the major difference, really having the support around me to know what I'm doing the whole way through. Freestyling it, I would not recommend to anyone. And so the approach has been very different. It's been meticulous and rigorous and thorough. And heading into Worlds this year, there are many changes that have taken place from a training perspective, from a nutritional perspective. I've been working to significantly rev up my metabolism, get my calories up to be able to, achieve the levels of muscle mass that I need. And subsequently, I'll probably have to, cut a little bit deeper to get as lean as I need to closer for the show, for the fitness category. But the biggest change for Worlds will be not doing the elite show before I do the pro show. It killed me. It absolutely killed me. And so I just know with the physique changes I'm bringing, the added rigor to my plan, and with the elimination of an entire full day of competing, I know I'll be able to shine a little brighter.
Yeah. And that's one thing that's cool about the World Championships is that people can qualify for elite. And then if they earn a top 3 spot, right away compete in the pro show. So it's kind of awesome.
Yes.
But like you said, it's tiring. Not only is it a long day, but those who have competed before know, it's not just walking on stage and smiling. Like your muscles are trembling. You've got to keep them under control. Every pose you hit,
yes,
you've got to make it look natural while really tightening up every muscle in your body. So it's a lot, right? And you did Absolutely. 2 categories in the elite show. And then another one for the pro. So
yes. And fitness model in and of itself has 2 divisions. And I was the first out because I picked number 24. So I stand on stage for half an hour blocks each time. So it just got to be a little too much. I was zonked and I did not give it my best at the pro show, which I will always regret. But there was always next year.
Yes. Now, we hear in the industry, and I'd say it seems to be quieting down a little bit. But one thing we used to hear about in the industry is judging is fixed, and judging sucks, and blah blah blah. What do these judges know about anything? So one thing UFE's done to try and take a lot of perceived bias out of judging and make it seem more transparent is we've put UFE pros behind the table. So in most cases, there's 2, 3, 4 UFE pros behind the table. And we want people to know that because these UFE pros, if anything unfair or weird was going on back there, these pros are still competing with us. And you can imagine that they go, well, if this is happening at show A, who's to say this isn't happening at my show? So it's a way of holding us accountable, and for our audience to be confident that, we're trying to be fair about things. So one of those UFE pros that went behind the table at UFE Spring Bash just last week was yourself. And it was one of the first times, well, it was the first time you've done it.
Yes.
So describe your experience, and have you ever heard anything about like, hey, judging isn't fair, and what do these judges know? They don't even know what they're talking about. Have you ever heard those comments before?
Those kinds of comments are, they will come up from individuals, and whether it's in the UFE or any other bodybuilding organization or any other organization, period, there will always be questions around, whether judging is fair. But having sat on the other side of the table, it's a really interesting perspective. First of all, there is nothing shady going on. It is so fast. Like the amount of competitors that you are reviewing over that period of time and trying to get solid comments for each competitor, you are so hyper-focused on the task itself. There is no way to actually fudge the numbers because you have to take it all in real time. And so just being on the other side of the desk and seeing it from the judging perspective and seeing the lineup of competitors, all of these folks have come out and given it their all. You respect them because, one, you are a competitor yourself, you know what's gone into it. You would never want to be in a situation where there was unfairness going on if you were up on that stage yourself. And so these folks, they've been in competitions in the past, they've judged competitions in the past, and every single judgment that is made in that time is as a result of what they see on that stage. And so all you can do at the end of the day is control what you bring in, and every category is different. That's the other thing. And so focus on the right aspects of what your category represents. If you're in bikini and you're coming out with bad presentation, you will never place well. And you can't blame the judges for that. And so there are little things like that you can control to ensure that you place better. But at the end of the day, it is up to you.
And you seem to just have a really realistic attitude about everything, and you're just very measured, and just a really interesting outlook on everything, like just a real athlete perspective. But despite that, did judging a show give you a different appreciation for what goes into it?
Absolutely. Being on the other side of the table makes you truly appreciate, first of all, how difficult the decisions are, how minute the differences can be between competitors, and how you rank them in that lineup depending on those differences. And it really is show dependent. Who is up there with you will often determine your placing more so than who's sitting on the judging panel. So it is truly a sport that is measured and uses metrics that are easily shown and scored. And so if you were to sort of look at your judging report and how it's broken down, those categories really do mean something. And if you feel as though you are not doing well in a category that has a majority of the score attributed to it, then you know exactly where your weak point is. But the other thing I should note is that as a judge, the one thing that you do not know is how fast everything moves in that spot. And so I came out with a serious appreciation for the quality of the commentary, for the level of commentary that was provided on my past judging reports, because when you're sitting in that chair and evaluating a group of, let's say, 10 to 15 competitors on a stage in, let's say, bikini, because it's a stacked class, it is moving fast. And to get those comments and to really think about it and be thoughtful, it does take time. And so after the show, many of us were, going back and adding more commentary and ensuring that we really did right by the competitors. And so what I really want to get across is the judges are there to do right by the competitors. That is their entire mission. And get away from any other thoughts around it, because that's the only thought crossing their minds.
Amazing. I love the explanation. I think you filled us in pretty good. And yeah, you can imagine, as hard as it is at a novice and open show, imagine what the judges have to go through at the pro show, because these people are, ideally they're all scoring perfect, and you somehow have to find out where the imperfections are so that you can determine who should be winning, right? It's crazy what goes into it. So yeah, really cool to hear what your perspective was, because you just finished judging for the first time last week. So I think people will appreciate hearing that. So I think I want to conclude by, are you going to be at UFE Revolution?
I will absolutely be at UFE Revolution, and then I will be competing in London, and who knows what other shows you might see me at.
Awesome. And throughout the interview, we've been posting your Instagram handle. So I actually think it would be pretty cool for people to follow you on Instagram just to see your evolution, because it has been pretty impressive. Like your first show, as good as you looked and as charismatic as you were, by the time you got to the Worlds, you had already brought in a different physique, and that's just in a few months. So I'm pretty anxious to see what happens this year, because you're working hard and making improvements, and people can see that on Instagram. So the last question, actually, before I leave everybody, what's the meaning of Booty Barbie? Were you just looking for an Instagram name, or is there something to it?
Well, in the bikini category, as we all know, some of the most important things that people look for are delts and glutes, and I couldn't be glute Barbie, so
there we go.
There we have it.
All right, the story of Booty Barbie. Awesome. So
the origin story.
All right. Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank Bill, and I want to thank Dave and Mike. They've been commenting throughout. So Mike was just saying he can't imagine having to judge a pro show. Who knows, Mike, when you retire, I might throw you behind the judge's desk, though. Mike was just actually helping you at the workshop today. Our champion there, Mike James.
So, right. Yes.
Yeah.
As was Rob, Team Star.
There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Aleksandra, and we'll see you in May, and good luck in both June and November.
Thank you, Sean. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you to UFE for being such a fantastic organization. I've been having the time of my life partnering with you guys on these posing workshops and coming and judging, and I'm just so happy to be involved. Thank you, Sean, for the time today. And I cannot wait to get back on that stage in June. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out.
It's going to be awesome.
Yay!
All right. Thanks so much, Aleksandra.
Thanks. Take care.